Good morning, dear students. I am Upendra Rao, working as a Deputy General Manager in State Bank of India. I had 27 years of experience in IT area, experience in implementing different projects, including data warehousing. I worked as a professor and a director in Central University of Hyderabad, previously also in Andhra University Engineering College. Then before that I was in TISCO as a system engineer. Today I am going to discuss about why data warehouse project failed and a brief introduction to resource requirements and major issue of data warehousing related to buy versus build, and also mistakes to avoid and some cost factors of data warehousing. So far we have discussed different implementation methodologies, basically traditional versus staged, and different architectural options. In spite of we have different architectural options and methodologies, the sum of the data warehousing projects are failing in practice. Why they are failing? I will give few points why data warehousing projects will fail in practice. Data warehouse projects are driven by technology instead of business need. What happens in the organizations when you want to build a data warehouse, the top management view suddenly falls in the IT department. So we need to build a data warehouse. Can you build? Then they will start discussing about what kind of hardware, what kind of tools are available. So their view directly jumps on technology rather than what for I need a business, what for I need a data warehouse, why do I need a data warehouse, who need a data warehouse. These questions, without answering, they will jump into building a data warehouse, looking at the other organizations. Everybody is building a data warehouse, why should I not? This approach generally fails. And when building a data warehouse, the responsibility is given to the technology people. Technology people, they are good in building hardware, software systems, but they are not good in understanding the business requirements of the top people. Decisions are taken by the top executives of the organization related to the business. Therefore, they should be made responsible. They should drive the project rather than by technology. But if you see in practice, the survey which was conducted across the industry for the last few years shows that many of the projects are driven by technology instead of the business need. Therefore, the data warehouse project fails. Treating the data warehouse as a destination instead of a journey. So what happens is, once I decide, the organization decides to build a data warehouse, form a group of people, assigned to the IT department, they build a data warehouse and generate some business intelligence information, reports, show it to the management, and they celebrate it. Yes, we have built a data warehouse. That is not the end of it. That is the beginning of building a data warehouse. Data warehouse is not a destination of a solution. It is a journey. Why it is a journey? Because the data warehouse is to meet the business needs. Business needs are not static. Business needs are dynamic. As the business needs are changing, data warehouse requirements, information requirements, stakeholders' information requirements go on changing. So once you design a platform to analyze the business information, since the business needs are changing, the data warehouse requirements also go on changing. So you have to treat the data warehouse as a journey rather than a destination. Once you feel that it is a destination, you will not try to put an efforts in maintaining, building the right information into the data warehouse and make available to the different stakeholders to meet their business needs. That's why data warehouse is not a destination, it is only a journey for meeting the business requirements. Inability to provide answers to the meaningful questions. We need to build a data warehouse of business. What is a business intelligence? We are understood in the beginning of the lecture, what are the dimensions in which the threat can happen to my business. So we need to define what is the likelihood of threats in different dimensions? Those are the meaningful questions. If you are able to answer those meaningful questions, then my data warehouse building is meaningful. So generally, without defining the proper perspective, proper long-term view of the data warehouse, if you build a data warehouse, it will fail. That means data warehouse will not answer the meaningful questions for the sustenance of the business. Therefore, inability to provide answers to meaningful questions, people will use for a shorter period of time, maybe 6 months to 1 year. After, nobody will start extracting the information from the data warehouse. That's why the data warehouse projects fail. This makes us clear why many of the data warehouse projects are failing. So when we are starting a data warehouse design and building and implementation, we have to keep these important factors into consideration, set the organization's top executives, make them to understand what is required in the long-term success of the data warehouse projects. Who are going to build the data warehouse? What are the human resource requirements? There are different category of the people required implementing a data warehouse. The first human resource requirement is the executive sponsor. Who is sponsoring the project? He is completely the sponsor who gives the money for building a data warehouse. Because he is investing on that, he has to take the benefit of that project. So executive sponsor. Who is executive sponsor? He is one of the stakeholders. He has a clear understanding of why he is investing, what purpose he is investing. So we need to define the executive sponsor. Next, project owner. He is a business owner, he is a project owner. How the project has to be taken off? What are the components in the project? Plan the project, execute the project, implement the project, and then meet the requirements of the executive sponsor. Next, project human resource is these are the top people, project owner for data warehousing project. Next is the steering committee, because data warehouse is not for a part of the employees, it is for the whole organization, for all the business. There are different representatives available across the organization for different business units. You need to form a steering committee consisting of different business units because they need to contribute. They know the business related information correspond to their unit. Therefore, a steering committee needs to be constituted. They give the proper requirements down the line and up the line for the people and see that the project of the data warehouse meets the requirements of the executive sponsor, ultimately of the organization. Next, working group. The steering committee is the second level of business employees. Working group is the technical people, collect requirements, design the data, implement the data warehouse. These are the working group people, mostly technical people. So these are the four group of people we need to identify, define their roles properly, train them, and then start the implementation of the data warehouse project. Now let us see the next. Along with human resource requirement, we also need hardware and software. What kind of hardware? What kind of software? Do I need to buy a supercomputer? Do I need to buy a simple PC? Is it enough? Who is going to decide? That means we need to identify the hardware resource requirement, system resource requirement, based on the capacity of the hardware capacity planning for data warehouse. What do you do in this case? We collect what are the inputs I am going to fed into my data warehouse. What are the inputs? Business requirements. How many people are requiring the information related to business? What are those people? What are the workloads? Do they access information daily? Or the reports are generated on daily basis or weekly basis? Do I provide? Or batch processing information requirements are provided? Usage profiles. Do they access in the nights or only in the daytime? Based on the usage profile also, I can decide the capacity planning required. Suppose the building of a data warehouse and usage are two exclusive time events. Building is at the night time and usage is the daytime. the same hardware capacity may be sufficient. So like that, these are the inputs. Based on these inputs, I need to plan for the hardware capacity of the data warehouse. CPU capacity, daily processing, overnight processing. Daily if I am processing, I require a higher CPU capacity. If I am processing overnight processing, I require much higher capacity. These are some inputs. Memory capacity, disk capacity. Disk capacity is defined, is decided based on the database requirements, non-database requirements. How much data I am going to collect and store in my data warehouse? In how many terabytes of data? How long I am going to keep? Is it for 5 years or 10 years? The time goes, data warehouse, data storage requirement increases. How much data and how long data I am going to keep in my data warehouse? That is also decided on the disk capacity. We need to be decided. Non-database requirement. In addition to the data, I am storing the database of product. DBMS product may be Oracle, data warehouse software, and also operating system software, some tools. These are also non-database requirements. Some metadata elements for business intelligence purpose. These are all non-database requirements. I need to analyze that and then decide what is the disk capacity required. Then scalability and upgradability. Today I buy a mini computer with a certain 10 terabytes of data. I am building a data warehouse. For 3 years time period, my disk is full. I need to keep the more data. Business has specified me that I need to analyze based on the 5 years data. My hardware capacity is not sufficient. I cannot upgrade it. Then what I need to do, I need to replace the hardware with a new hardware. That's very costly. Therefore, when I am deciding the hardware capacity, I need to analyze what is the scalability feature, upgradability feature. Upgradability means within the same system, how can I add more CPUs? Can I add the disk? Scalability feature. Can I add another box onto the top of this with the same system and then increase the capacity? So these are to be considered by deciding the hardware capacity. So that means today if I buy a mini system which is upgradable from, let us say, from 10 gigabytes of memory to 50 gigabytes of memory, tomorrow if I need 100 gigabytes of memory, then I may need to replace the whole back chassis of the hardware. That means if I know that in the next 5 years my memory requirement is 100 gigabytes, then I will be buying a base system which can upgradable up to 100 gigabytes rather than 50 gigabytes. That's the viewpoint we have to consider when designing the hardware capacity planning. We are discussing hardware capacity planning for data warehouse. It looks simple when you look at these parameters. When we are actually deciding the hardware configuration in an organization, is a very, very difficult issue. Generally, in the initial stage, the project conception stage, people do not allot sufficient money for the hardware and hardware resource requirements. So, how to decide the hardware capacity planning? As I explained you in the beginning, when you decide the scope of the project, define the scope decision document, define the stakeholders information requirement, identify the attributes, identify the information requirements period of time. Based on that, we can estimate the number of inputs and processing capability, all those things. Then we can derive what kind of configuration is required for the hardware. Then we have to put to the steering committee, these are the requirements of a hardware for the data warehouse project. Once you put in place the resources, then your project will go successfully. Otherwise, what happens is you start with a intermediate system and go on building a data warehouse project. Then response times will become very slow in the middle stage. At the stage, stakeholder satisfaction will get reduced. So your project likely to fail. These are looks to be very simple, silly matters, but they are major factors for success of a data warehouse project. Now, let's see the next topic. Generally, what mistakes people do while building a data warehouse and implementing a data warehouse. I discussed those mistakes in the form of mistakes to avoid. I am discussing about 10 mistakes that gives you a perspective for the implementers or guiding principles for the implementers to make the data warehouse implementation successful. Mistakes to avoid. You should avoid missing scope document, including a mission statement. The first step of implementing a data warehouse is define the scope document clearly, unambiguously, including the mission. What is I going to achieve by this data warehouse? Not gathering business requirements properly. So people assume the business requirements instead of gathering from the stakeholders. Okay, one or two stakeholders they identify, discuss them, and then come to the building of data warehouse. Then likely to fail. Identify all the stakeholders through a proper format. You need to collect the business requirement. You have to exploit the requirements from the stakeholders through a format. Go them, brainstorming them, elicit the information requirement for the next 5 years. That means if you don't gather, not gathering business requirement, you are likely to fail the data warehouse project. Saving the time by not creating a subject area model. What is the questions that I am going to answer by this data warehouse? That is subject area. So if I don't define the subject area properly, define the subject area model, to save time, I want to implement the project, show the results to the top management, yes, I have implemented. So you want to save time at the cost of defining the subject model, your project is likely to fail. That's the mistake we should avoid. Confusing titles with roles and responsibilities. As I defined in the earlier, the stakeholders, definition statement constitute the roles and responsibilities. Each person has to do what role. His role is CFO, what is his Chief Financial Officer, what is his role, what is his responsibility. So his role is projecting the financial strength of the organization next 5 years. What are the responsibilities related to him with reference to data warehouse? Where he need to contribute? That is to be defined. You should not get confused with the titles and roles. Don't assign the responsibilities based on just simply the influence of the person in the organization. So what role he is doing, corresponding to him only you assign the related responsibilities. Don't confuse, then that mistakes can be avoided. Thinking one size fits all. I am building a data warehouse for these business units. Everything, all problems will be solved. Thinking that one size fits all. I am going to solve all the problems into the organization related to the business problems. That will not give the success rate. So one size does not fit all. Different business units, different business requirement. Different business sizes of the organization, different the data warehouse, the architectures and options. So one size fits all. Somebody has done like this, I can do it, I can repeat it, I can get a success. Thinking one size fits all, mistake to be avoided. Pointing fingers. Some problem comes, people point out the other people depending on the weakness of the influence of the stakeholder. No, they have not provided this information. We have not provided that information. He has not done the job in time. These kind of problems, pointing fingers to others, you should avoid. Interviewing only the technical skills. When this is generally happens in implementing, when your data warehouse need to be built, people will start, do you have sufficient hardware and software? Do you have a people, technical people to build? That is the basic ground on which the organization trying to build a data warehouse. That is the wrong thing. This is the last thing the organization is supposed to do, is interviewing the technical people. The first thing they have to do is the stakeholders, business stakeholders, and their interviews and their information requirement. So interviewing, focusing interview on mostly on technical skills, whether the organization has it or not, is a mistake. We should avoid it. Accepting an unrealistic schedule. Because generally the sponsor, since he is investing money, he wants to know the results very fast. So I am investing 10 crores. I want to know the data warehouse results related to this business requirement in a matter of 6 months' time. He says that. So an unrealistic schedule to meet his stakeholder requirement, if you define, the project is likely to fail. You have to convince him, explain him in a realistic model, make him to accept a realistic time schedules. Then the return on investment will come, and he will also be satisfied. Choose the wrong sponsor. Who is the, what purpose I am building a data warehouse? Is it related to the marketing related focus? My organization has mostly the marketing related problems. Build a data warehouse. My first priority of analyzing the risk is towards marketing. Therefore, make the marketing head as a sponsor. Or if the risk is related to the quality of the product, if I am building in my organization, the product sales are coming down because the quality is coming down. So I need to build a data warehouse related to the quality related information, business quality related information. Therefore, my sponsor should be quality head. So you should not choose, suppose if I am building a data warehouse related to quality related issues of business, if I make a CFO as a sponsor, the project will not succeed. So you have to choose you should not choose the wrong sponsor. Not based on the influence of the people, you should not choose a sponsor. You have to choose the person who is the right person to meet the business objective. Expand the project scope in between. Once you decide the scope, never try to expand. If you try to expand, your schedule will get deferred. When schedule get deferred, more investment is required. The sponsor is not going to give you the more money. Then issues will come, discussion will happen, then shortcut will happen, ultimately quality of the data warehouse suffers. So never try to expand the project scope during the implementation phase. After the implementation phase, see the results, then expand the scope. That need to be done. Skip the project plan. People do not have a paper-based project plan. It may be in their minds. I have gone to some training in data warehouse in building project. I know how to build. The top executive have gone executive briefing program. They also think that yes, I know how data warehousing is built. Based on that just ad hoc thinking, the project will not get succeed. They have to have the project plan on paper. The same project plan should be distributed across all the people. Then the project will get successfully get executed. So don't skip the project plan. If you go and do a survey across the different organizations, you will find 50% organization will be missing the project plan document. Generally it happens. That is the biggest mistake. We should avoid it. The last mistake to avoid, letting IT drive the project. Don't allow information technology department to drive the project. They are not the drivers of the project, they are only the facilitators of the project implementing. That should be the strongest point to be kept in mind by the sponsors and top executives of organizations, stakeholders of the organization. They are not the drivers, they are not the owners. They are only the facilitators. So if you keep the IT head as a project head, is likely to fail. But why? Because the IT head will be only having the technical viewpoint of the data warehouse rather than the business view of the data warehouse. The business view will be possessed by the business people. Therefore, never let IT drive the project. If you come across the industry surveyor, especially in the smaller organization, most of the projects are driven by the IT heads. That's why they don't succeed it. This is the mistake to avoid. See, by now you understood what are the mistakes to avoid. You understood what are all the data rows implementation issues. So far in this lecture, what we discussed, we have discussed in the first section, implementation methodology. What is mainly constitute traditional implementation model versus the stage implementation model. There are the pros and cons. The experience shows the traditional implementation model is not a suited model for many of the cases. Stage implementation model is a suited one. The next section we have discussed about data warehouse in architectural options under different categories: warehouse option, ware-marked option, centralized option, distributed option, horizontal option, vertical option. So which option, which order is suitable for an organization depends on the size of the organization, business of the organization, culture in the organization, resource availability of the organization. Then next we have seen what kind of resources are required and what kind of hardware capacity requirements are required in terms of human resources, in terms of the hardware resource requirements, and then the last stage we have discussed about what are the common mistakes people do while implementing a data warehouse. We have discussed 10 mistakes, a summarized mistake. If you keep that as a guiding line, try to avoid each mistake at each stage, then you are likely to succeed in implementing a project. So data warehouse project implementation project is not a technical project, it is a business project and should be owned by the business people, not by the technology people. Is it clear? Do you have any questions?
Can we obtain from the data warehouse any amount of detailed data? This is the first question. Second question is, how do we decide the granule in a data warehouse?
The two questions. The first question is, can we get a detailed data from the summarized data? The first answer is no. Why? Because I am summarizing the detailed data, maybe like adding those all the retail sales to your total sales, keeping that total sales information into a centralized data warehouse in a fine-grained data model. So if I want to get back the detailed data from summarized one, it is not possible from the coarse-grained data warehouse model to get this fine-grained data. If you want to get the fine-grained data, I need to store this as well as summarized data in the data warehouse. In that case, the resource requirements tremendously increases. So that's why I said, no, we cannot get a detailed data from the summarized data. The second question is a very, very important question. The many of the organizations, they don't focus on that question thoroughly. If they focus it, they are likely to succeed the project more than 50%. What is the granularity of data? How do I decide? That is very difficult to decide the granularity level. It depends on many factors. What kind of questions my data warehouse is likely to answer? The questions need to be answered based on the fine-grained data. Then I need to build a fine-grained data warehouse. If the questions, my business questions, most of the questions are related to the analyzing the summarized data, I can go for a coarse-grained data. That means that the definition of the scope document, identifying the business requirement, you have to go through the questions. The questions, answers can be obtained from what level of data you need to mark up it. So you conduct an interview of all the stakeholders, form a matrix, see that this question, what level of granularity is required, coarse grain, fine grain, matrix. At the end of the stage of defining the scope, identifying the resource constraints and budget constraints. Generally you understand if the fine grain means you need more resource requirement. But the organization ready to invest that much money. Have a meeting of all the people. These are all the scope is include. These questions need to be answered. I need to collect the fine grain data. If this, I need to collect the fine grain data, these kind of resource requirements are there. These kind of cost estimates are involved. Are the organization ready to go ahead? No. Then let us compromise something. Do not go for fine grain data. Let us answer only these set of questions which are based on the coarse grain data. That will be more or less meeting my business requirements. That's how the organization need to decide the granularity level. That is not an easy task. The most complex task which requires a lot of thinking, comprehension of business knowledge and the cooperation of all the people in deciding granularity. It's a very good question. Thank you.